Chapter 2: The Potential Benefits You Can Achieve. Here, we'll go over the benefits of the green smoothie diet and the benefits that you can achieve just through using this. Boost your probiotics. Many of the alkaline foods in the green smoothie diet are probiotics. What are probiotics, though? They're a fancy word for bacteria that are naturally in our gut and help to properly balance the microbiome. Your gut has a combination of bacteria that are both good and bad. However, if there are too many bad ones and not enough good ones, it could cause issues with digestion, in some cases cancer, and even infections. It also is naturally connected to our brain health too, so if you want to boost your mental clarity and mood, you need to consider your gut health. A lot of alkaline foods are really good for your gut health and will also help you control your cravings too. Kale, for example, is a probiotic food, and so is miso and tempeh, and by consuming that, you'll be able to feed your gut the good, healthy bacteria that it needs. A lot of the alkaline foods that are fermented are natural probiotics in the body. Prebiotics are also a big part of a plant-based diet, though. Prebiotics are of course fiber that the body doesn't digest, but the gut needs it. If you want to have healthy probiotics in your gut, then it's time to start feeding your body prebiotics. Again, a majority of the alkaline foods on this list are natural prebiotics and are good for you. By consuming all of this, you'll be happier, healthier, and in a lot of cases, it will improve your gut health, which can keep you from getting sick and other diseases too. Plus, with the ample amounts of fiber in the green smoothie diet, you will be able to improve your gut health and also improve digestion as well. Lose the extra fat. If you're holding on to a few extra pounds, you're not alone. Extra pounds, especially around your stomach, is some of the most troublesome fat to lose. That's because in a lot of cases, the fat doesn't leave right away, but instead it sticks around and it creates problems down the line. However, with a green smoothie diet, you can naturally shed the pounds without needing to do a ton. Why is that? Because you'll be eating fewer calories for starters. The calories you consume on the green smoothie diet are much less than others. Remember, if you're consuming less calories than using, you will lose weight. Do make sure you're not completely tanking your calories, however. Some people don't realize that the foods in this aren't very calorie dense, so you end up feeling hungry and it can impact your metabolism. In the same vein though, do watch how many calories that you consume. That's why it's incredibly important to make sure you track the calories that you have when you use this diet. Another reason why this will help you lose the fat is because of the fiber once again. Fiber improves digestive health, breaking down all the fats in the body, and will help with movement of the chemicals. Fiber also does reduce your appetite too, since it will help you eat less. Fiber also does lower your blood pressure and improve your insulin resistance, and reduce insulin resistance in the body. This is really good for improving your health and wellness. According to a study published in the Annals of Internal Medicine, you should aim for about 30 grams each day to lose weight. That's simple to get on a plant-based diet, so you'll definitely benefit from consuming the fiber. Luckily, the green smoothie diet has a lot of that too. Review your skin. A plant-based diet, especially a green smoothie diet, is actually amazing for your skin. Your skin health is linked to your diet. Do you sometimes notice the breakouts and dry skin that come following a poor choice in foods? If you're eating foods that dehydrate your skin, it will make your skin drier and that much more obvious. However, by eating plant-based foods, it can help your skin look more glowing, brighter, and also reduce the presence of acne. Acne is probably one of the most common skin blemishes that comes into play when your diet is poor. Luckily, by eating right, you can improve this. A plant-based diet also provides something else: hydration. The water in plenty of vegetables does get absorbed into the cells, including your skin cells, and you will definitely notice a difference. This isn't an immediate change though, but rather a small incremental difference that makes you look younger, better, and healthier as well. Plant-based diets, especially smoothie diets, typically aren't loaded with fats, sugars, and proteins that beef this up. While eating meat and other products isn't bad for you, the sugars and other carbs that are thrown in there do cut the body off from important micronutrients. A plant-based diet will not only help with naturally hydrating the skin, but will also give the skin the proper micronutrients it needs to stay young and healthy. With a green smoothie diet, you're pumping your skin with such, which of course means that you're going to have a beautiful, radiant skin right away. People don't realize how important it is to take care of their skin, especially since you can end up looking older and having unhealthy skin quite fast. But with a plant-based diet, you're feeding your skin these important nutrients that make it look amazing and really beef it up, so you can feel good and look good as well. Avoid chronic disease. Chronic disease is another major benefit of this green smoothie diet. We talked about this before, but due to the prevalence of the vitamins and minerals along with the fiber in this, you can start taking care of your body and reducing the chances for unhealthy conditions. For example, let's talk about heart disease. It's the #1 killer in America. But this can be rectified by eating a diet that lowers your cholesterol, where you reduce the prevalence of unhealthy fats and work to adequately reduce your blood pressure as well. A plant-based diet does this, and the green smoothie diet more than achieves this. Inflammatory conditions also can be mitigated through the use of healthy diet, especially a plant-based diet. With a plant-based diet, you do reduce the inflammatory response, so autoimmune conditions aren't as much of a problem for those who suffer from them, and it can reduce the flare-ups. Finally, there is diabetes. Diabetes is a common condition that results from the overconsumption of too many sugars, especially processed. Your insulin resistance drops. But with a green smoothie diet, you're reducing your intake of unhealthy sugars, will lower your glucose response, and help with controlling it as well. For those with prediabetes, this can prevent the onset of diabetes from coming into play and potentially hurting you as well. A lot of people do suffer from chronic health conditions. The best way to stave off a chronic health condition is to start consuming foods that will help to reduce the incidence of this. Mortality rates do plummet when you start to take care of your body, and the best way to avoid chronic disease of all kinds is to eat the right foods. The nutrients in this can also break down free radicals too, reducing risks for cancer as well. A green smoothie diet can prevent your body from breaking down and should be considered a good thing if you're struggling with keeping chronic conditions at bay. Increase energy and focus. Plant-based diets are wonderful for energy and fatigue. When we consume a diet high in sugars and fats, the problem is that it causes our blood sugars to spike and then plummet, making us exhausted afterwards. You've probably experienced the energy spike, followed by the fall shortly afterwards. It's not fun to deal with. However, a plant-based diet, especially a green smoothie diet, can prevent this for a variety of reasons. You're having sugars for sure, but they're not simple sugars that will quickly be eating up, but instead of complex sugars your body uses as fuels to keep you going. This, of course, prevents the spikes and crashes from becoming a big problem down the line. But there is also the fact that with a plant-based diet, you will feel more energized. You won't feel the brain fog that comes with a high-sugar diet or one that's high in simple carbs. You'll feel more raring to go and ready to take on the future, and from there, you'll be happier as well. There are many benefits to a plant-based diet, but this one is the best. That's because your body does need sugars and energy to continue, since the majority of our body uses this as fuel. However, with a plant-based diet, it's a more constant energy output that does a lot of good as well. With a plant-based diet, you'll also feel more focused too. A green smoothie diet before you have to do is a daunting task is a good idea. Why? Because you'll notice after you drink it, you're more focused. Many of these foods in the green smoothies contain a wealth of vitamins and minerals, and after consumption, you'll feel more aware and focused. That way you're able to take on the tasks and you won't feel the exhaustion and fatigue after a crash either. Finally, it's also really good for preventing hunger and fatigue. These green smoothies contain a lot of fiber, so after it's eaten, you'll be fuller for longer, and you won't be as hungry, but instead focused and ready to go. It's amazing how much of a difference consuming a plant-based smoothie can do for your body after you've had a rough day. It will naturally kick you into gear, and with the B vitamins in each, it's good for your brain and body health and is wonderful if you're struggling with focusing enough and mental clarity as well. Restore your overall health. Finally, it fixes your overall health. Look at your diet. Do you really eat the right kinds of foods? You're probably over-consuming carbs at this point, and that's not good for you. It creates a temper energy and really doesn't help. You're probably eating calorie-dense foods without too many nutrients. This also contains chemicals that will hold you back too. The green smoothie diet is different though. It does reduce the chemicals in the body, providing ample nutrients, and you'll realize when you do eat these healthy foods, you just feel better too. It also does naturally flush out the toxin and gives your body a wealth of fiber amongst other vitamins. If you're feeling sluggish and tired, you may want to consider looking at your diet. It can help to restore the hydration in the body, making you healthier and happier too. There are many people who benefit from improving their diets, and using a green smoothie to cleanse the body and improve your health will change the way you feel. Change your body and you'll soon notice that it will change your life. Luckily, through the green smoothie cleanse, you can incorporate that in, and from there, you'll feel better too. If you feel like your diet is holding you back from reaching your true potential, then it's time to look at what you're eating and make the change. A green smoothie diet allows you to make changes, improving your health, wellness, and happiness too. Chapter 3. Deep diving into the green smoothie diet. Let's look a little bit deeper into the green smoothie diet, including what it can do for you and what it entails. Here we'll go over what body pH is, what the alkalinity of the body does, and of course the safety concerns associated with the green smoothie diet. What is body pH? Body pH is essentially how acidic or how alkaline the body is. The pH scale ranges from 0 to 14, with 0 being the most acidic and 14 being the most alkaline. Our bodily pH runs from 7.35 to 7.45, but that's of course the blood. However, the bodily fluids we have are a bit different. pH usually involves looking at how many hydrogen positive or H positive ions are there in your bodily fluids. If it's too low, there are too many hydrogen positive ions, but high pH indicates too many other ions and not enough hydrogen. When our bodily fluids drop in pH, it can affect things. For example, our saliva ranges from 6.5 to 7.5. When it starts to lower, it does affect our taste buds. After we swallow, the food goes into the stomach with different pH values, getting as low as 1.5 in certain cases. Then it goes to the intestines, which is usually around 7 to 8.5 for best results. You need to have proper pH in order to have the correct functions in the body. While our blood does have a very small pH range, that's very easy to maintain. Other parts of the body are not so lucky. Our pH needs to be properly maintained to work correctly. It also can keep our other disorders from being a problem. The pH is maintained through 3 different mechanisms: a buffer control, a renal control, and a respiratory control. The buffer system is a group of proteins that are H-positive acceptors, and they can regulate the pH during different psychological changes, such as holding your breath, exercise, or when you secrete gastric acids. With the respiratory buffer control system, this is usually controlling the pH with the use of the respiratory system to properly regulate the pH levels within the blood. Finally, the renal system is your kidneys, which filter out everything in order to properly control the pH of the body at this point. You need to have these in proper balance for a variety of reasons. That's because if it's not balanced, it can cause breathing disorders and a condition such as acidosis. This means that your kidneys and lungs are working overtime to help compensate for this, and then there's too much acid in the body. This can cause a lot of health issues and may be life-threatening if not caught early enough. This can cause an excess of CO2 in the body. In some cases, metabolic acidosis also occurs too, which can cause heart failure, liver failure, a long lack of oxygen, acid buildup in your urine, and even vomiting and diarrhea. This is all due to too much acid in the body since the pH isn't properly regulated. And the results of this can be life-threatening if you're not careful and monitoring this all this while. In a lot of cases, it may even cause a lack of properly oxygenated blood to the brain, which can put you at risk for hypoxia. The risk factors in this are a high-fat diet with not enough carbohydrates, improper functioning of the kidneys, dehydration, diabetes, and obesity. This, of course, something that can be preventable if you have a properly balanced diet as well. How does alkalinity affect this? Alkalinity does impact the health and wellness of the body. While you cannot change the pH of your blood unless it becomes life-threatening, this does change the H of your other bodily fluids as well. There are some studies that show that certain conditions thrive in acidic environments. For example, cancer cells thrive when the body is not alkaline, since it requires a lower pH to survive. When you eat an alkaline diet and of course limit the acidic foods, this properly balances the pH levels of all parts of the body and will create an environment that staves off chronic conditions including cancer. When you consume alkaline foods, you're also eating foods that are easily filtered by your kidneys. They don't have to work overtime to get rid of all the bad things, offering a much healthier state and a cleaner body. While you will not be able to regulate the pH of your blood since it is very tightly regulated, you will see the changes in the body when you eat alkaline foods. For example, you might also notice that your saliva production is much larger than before. You may even notice you get full easier and you stay full. You also might be more aware as well, and your energy levels will be higher too. It's because you're not feeding acid-rich foods to your body, but instead alkaline and wonderful foods that improve your health. The alkaline diet is not a bad one, since the goal of this is healthy eating. It isn't necessarily to help you with losing weight, although that's a big benefit of the diet. You will notice that it can help lower your risk for chronic conditions and also improve your overall health. However, remember that this isn't the blood pH, but instead the pH of other parts of the body. So remember that before you decide to start this. You also will reduce your chances for inflammation. An acidic environment does trigger the inflammatory response in the body. When you eat more alkaline foods, you can lower your chances of inflammatory conditions in the body. So you have autoimmune conditions, it will reduce the risk of these flare-ups too. Remember though that this does something greater than change the pH of the body. It will help you steer on the proper path to healthy eating, something many people neglect these days. But with healthy eating, you'll feel better, be happier, and healthier as well. So look no further than the alkaline diet to accomplish that, along with so much more. Do you need greens? Yes, you need greens. Plants are some of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. They contain a variety of different health benefits that encourage wellness and a healthier body as well. Greens are the best ways to improve the alkalinity of the body, but it's more than just that. They come with a trove of different vitamins, minerals, and even fiber too, and it does protect you from a variety of diseases, allowing you to live much longer. Greens contain essential nutrients. When you give your body greens, they'll be able to use those essential nutrients to eat properly. But what else can greens do? Well, it can lower the risk of mortality. That's because it comes with vitamin K, B, vitamins, magnesium, and other nutrients. These in particular are vital for cellular function, making us look youthful and also reducing the occurrence of free radicals in the body, reducing aging and cancer risk too. Greens are also very low in fat, high in fiber, and great sources of potassium, vitamin C, magnesium, along with other phytochemicals. This, of course, can lower the risk of heart disease by 11%, with just one serving each day. It's that simple. It's also good for a variety of other reasons, not just weight loss. The vitamin K, calcium, and magnesium do create osteocalcin, which builds bones. If you have one serving a day, women can reduce the risk of hip fractures by almost half. It is also great for the immune system, not just because of the vitamin C in it, but also because of the beta-carotene that's in the leafy greens as well. If you have more leafy greens, it also does help protect many parts of your eyes. And with a green smoothie diet, not only is reducing the acid nature of the body good, but also by creating an alkaline nature with this, you're powering your body up, giving it wonderful chemicals. That's what many don't realize. For a lot of people, it's more than just changing the alkalinity of parts of the body, but it's also the consumption of healthy foods that allow for proper bodily health. Remember, with the antioxidants in these leafy greens too, you can also reduce the risk of cancer, aging, and other problems in the body. So yes, if you have leafy greens, you will live longer, and you will have a healthier body that you can be proud of. Drinking versus eating greens. So what's better, drinking or eating greens? Well, there are a few benefits to eating the greens versus drinking them. Greens are good to eat because of the fiber in them. Leafy greens contain a lot of the fiber, but the problem is, when it's processed and made into a liquid, a lot of it was taken out of it due to blending, which removes the natural chewing you do with leafy greens. Eating greens also does make you fuller faster too. That's because of the fiber again. You're consuming it through chewing, which is partially why, after you eat a bit, you're full. However, with eating greens, it takes much longer, and sometimes you're not getting all of the benefits that you could when drinking greens. When you drink greens, you're putting a ton of different greens together, and then drinking it, all in one serving. This, of course, means you're getting all of the vitamins and minerals right away. While you are sacrificing a bit of fiber in order to get the nutrients, remember that it isn't a ton, and it could possibly still give you ample nutrients. It isn't just putting them all together and eating them, but instead, a green smoothie creates a simple, yet effective means of consuming all of the wonderful veggies that you want to have. The problem with smoothies, however, lies in the caloric intake of them. If you're counting calories, drinking smoothies can be a problem. That's because the calories do accumulate quite quickly, which means that if you're not careful, you could put half of your daily limit into one smoothie. The green smoothie cleanse isn't necessarily done with weight loss in mind, since it's kind of a benefit that you naturally get from this. However, if you're looking to lose weight, drinking your veggies can be a problem. You also need to make sure that if you're drinking your greens, you make them yourself in the form of a natural green smoothie with a little bit of yogurt tossed in there. If you buy the smoothies, there's a lot of sugar added, which causes the blood sugar spike, which then causes insulin resistance, which doesn't fix what you're trying to resolve. However, by drinking smoothies slowly, you will notice that you do get full and you're getting all of the benefits right away. So yes, you can eat your greens if you like to have more fiber, feel fuller faster, and prefer to have many small meals throughout the day. But if you want your greens all in one place, without the extra headache of making sure that you eat enough, consider drinking them in smoothies. You should make them with fresh veggies and maybe a few healthy fruits along the way. We'll go over the best fruits and veggies for a green smoothie in the next section and what you can and cannot eat. However, do know that the greens you consume are sometimes better in the form of raw veggies. But if you're not the biggest fan of veggies and just want to eat them all at once, there is nothing to stop you from a smoothie. Do avoid veggie juices though. Even though they do have a lot of ample nutrients in veggies, they're filled with sugars and a lot of liquid calories too. Is this safe? You may wonder if the green smoothie diet is safe. Yes, it is, but you might want to account for protein and other important supplements that may be missing. A protein powder, especially a green plant protein powder, is important for your smoothies since most don't get enough protein when doing a green smoothie cleanse. But green smoothies are incredibly healthy, especially alkaline smoothies. Kale, Swiss chard, and spinach are some of the best veggies to have in a green smoothie, since they provide vitamins C, K, and A, along with other phytochemicals. But green smoothies also make it easy for you to get your daily amount of greens. Leafy greens lower your risk for type 2 diabetes and slow cognitive decline. Plus, it's fun to have a delicious green smoothie, and it does make a good, tasty smoothie. However, do remember that with green smoothies, you're going to need to be careful with protein and fat as well. That's because green smoothies tend to be low fat. While you don't need to consume too much fat, you do need to make sure you have a little bit, since it does play a part in maintaining fullness and also proper cognitive health. As for protein, a supplement should be more than enough to compensate for that. Adding it to your smoothies will give you more calories, but also more protein as well. In general, it is safe. Using this as detox, however, isn't always the best thing, since the human body already does a good job of cleaning itself, and there's no scientific evidence that suggests that detoxes need to happen. But the big thing to understand is that with green smoothies, it's less about detoxing the body and more about giving yourself proper vitamins and minerals and kicking to the curb unhealthy foods that will impact your life. Green smoothies diets are typically pretty good to have, and it can be a good way to feel better, boost your energy as well, and supplement your body with impactful vitamins and minerals that can change you for the better.